which former Cardinals outfield prospect will win Rookie of the Year tonight, or will both of them win? Talking about Randy Arozarena in the American League. The finalists, him and Wander Franco, and also Luis Garcia. I mean, I don't know how to handicap this. I would assume it'll be Arozarena. He led all major league rookies with 4.2 WAR and it's like their second best player if you're going to use WAR, and we're talking about a 100-win team there. He had a 2020 season, homers and stolen bases. Only the third rookie in the last 10 years to do that. One of the others was Mike Trout, and only 11 have had 2020 season since MLB defined rookie status in 1958. Arozarena was tied for seventh, all MLB rookies and fifth among AL rookies in homers. Led all rookies in hits and average, and led American League rookies in runs and doubles, walks, steals, on-base percentage, OPS. And he saved 7 runs in left field. Seems to me that's your winner.
I think so. Nobody will admit to it. He kind of had a leg up on everybody before the season started.
I think he did. No doubt.
He did. But the numbers you just pointed out, he earned that this year with that play. That follow-up was good. I think a lot of us were, skeptical, but it was okay. Let's see how you do with the full season here, kid.
Did good.
He did really well.
Did very well. Probably will only get better. And I tell you what, in a way, how you see, it's about Dylan Carlson. I don't think he's going to win this award tonight when it's announced on MLB Network. I think it's going to go to Jonathan India, the Reds, and I have no problem with that. And I think Trevor Rogers, the lefty starter for the Marlins, had a exceptional season. I mean, in another year, I really mean this. All 3 of these guys would be worthy of winning that award. I mean, in fact, in a weaker class, so to speak, Dylan Carlson would be the National League Rookie of the Year. These are 3 really good candidates. But, Jim, I've been doing this a long time, as you have, and it's funny. I'm always guilty of this, even though I shouldn't be, where you see a guy play every day. I mean, every day. And through the daily grind, you don't really appreciate how good a season he really had. And I'm talking about Dylan Carlson. And we're not saying a Mike Trout season. No one, we're all tethered to reality. But first of all, as much as he played, I mean, this guy played ball all season. I mean, he was right near the top as far as on the team in terms of games and plate appearances. He's right there with Arenado. And he had to play center field, which is not his natural position. When Bader was out, he played some left, and mostly he played right. So they moved him everywhere. He also started, Zach Silver pointed out at MLB, that Carlson started in each batting order position except for cleanup and the pitcher spot, because the Cardinals needed him to, or they asked him to during the season. So you could put him anywhere in the lineup. And he could have hit cleanup. I'm not saying he would have been their ideal cleanup hitter, but it's not like you look at him batting cleanup and you say, oh, this is crazy. No, it wouldn't be the ideal choice, but he would fit there for a while anyway. Good defense. He hit 266. He got his on-base percentage by the end of the season up to 343. He slugged 437. If you use OPS plus, where 100, that's adjusted for park and league effects, 100 is average, and he was 17% above average offensively. So he had some slumps. He did hit that rookie wall there for a while, but man, he came back strong on that. And one of the notes about him too, he's the first rookie in the American League, National League history to homer from each side of the plate in multiple games in a season. So I could go on and on and on about his performance. But when you use the baseball reference version of wins above replacement, I mean, he's right there with India. The gap's not all that big, but I think India really was the better player from start to finish. Really had a great year. I'll
go with India as well. But it's interesting the way you put it with Carlson, because there were times throughout the year, Bernie, because he got ran out there every day. I mean, it was almost to the point you're like, hey, he's a rookie. Do you guys remember? He might hit a wall here or there. He might need a day to it was never an option for him. It's just keep running him out there. And
they didn't have any depth for a while, not until Newtbark later on proved to be okay in that role. Sorry, my friend.
No, but I think that from a standpoint of, like you pointed out, watching him every day, I think that maybe impressed me more than anything. He just kept pushing through. And every time I'd look up, I go, oh, I think he's starting to struggle. And bang, he hit a home run and, going a week where you went, okay, he's really good. And then about a month later, he'd slow down again. You're like, all right, this is where the rookie, really stuck. Bang, he had a couple nights where he hit a home run from both sides of the plate. You're like, no, he's just a good ball player, and he's going to only get better as he moves on and starts to figure out more about the league. I mean, he is a very studious ball player. I mean, he gets everything that's going on
smart,
around.
So mature beyond his years. Okay, he did hit the rookie wall. There's no doubt about it. Because I remember writing about it, talking about it. It was really, a couple of weeks maybe before the All-Star break, maybe the first part of July, and he just was he just looked really tired. But I just looked this up while you were talking. Yep. Here's what he did in August and September. You talk about the cliche, catch a second wind.
Yeah.
Here's what he did in July and August. August and September, the final 2 months. Which, after all, is when they made their charge to get to the playoffs, right? He hit .301. His on-base percentage was .365. He slugged .503, which I didn't even realize.
Wow.
Right?
That's even more impressive.
And I know, right? And he was 34% above average offensively the final 2 months of the season. 10 doubles, a triple, 7 homers, scored 27 runs, drove in 22. Stole a couple bases. He was just dynamic those final couple months. And that tells you something, because he reached that point where he was exhausted and he looked like he was flailing away and overmatched. And you're like, well, is he just going to kind of fade out?
Yeah.
And no, he caught his breath and just like, boom, he played his best ball all around the final 2 months of the season. And I think that's an outstanding indicator of not only the kind of player he is, but what we can expect going forward.
Oh, I think so. There's no doubt he will get better, and the numbers will get more impressive. And then even during the 17-game winning streak stretch, it was Goldie out front, it was O'Neill out front. He was like right behind them with all the great numbers that were being put up, and I kind of got overlooked, I think, at times because we were focusing on that. And plus, his defense is pretty good.
It is
undervalued.
It is, and it got better when he had to move around so much. I think that maybe was a detriment for him being the best he could be in right field.
Yep. Once he got out there in right field on a regular basis, you're like, whoa, okay, he's legit.
He's good, and he can play center if you need him. It's not ideal. I mean, he's frankly, if you go by the metrics, he's like slightly below average, and you can live with that. That it's not like he was awful. It's just he was a tad below average, but. They've got such a great center fielder, and I don't know why so many Cardinals fans just keep, finding ways to replace Harrison Bader. It's just bizarre to me. There are some positions in baseball where defense is a bit overrated, Center field's not one of them.
No.
Not one of them at all. And that's a pretty big ballpark, and there's, fly balls and line drives are coming at you. And he's the best friend, one of the best friends of that pitching staff. They got a lot of great defenders, but I saw some guy was on a message board. He was talking about, they need to be, they just need to, I don't know why they're wasting time, in the Arizona League. Newt Barr's got to play center. So and then he can take over for Bader. And it's like, my goodness. I don't understand the fetish that some people have. It's almost like me today, expressing my exasperation over Marco Scandella. Okay. But the problem is, I'm going to defend myself. Like, Marco Scandella ain't Harrison Bader in terms of an equivalency, right?
No.
The one guy is coming off a really terrific season, minus the injuries, but he hurt himself, let's face it, trying to make a play, and he broke a rib. It's not because he was, he pulled this, this hurts, my back's sore, none of that stuff.
No J.D. Drew moment.
Right. So, but I don't get it. Why are we always trying to replace Harrison Bader? He's I don't know who that guy's going to be. It's going to be DeYoung, who's going to assume the Carpenter role. And I'm not talking about on the bench. I'm talking about as the object of just almost insane disdain.
Yes. I think you're right.
It's good. DeYoung's the favorite. If Bader gets off to a slow start offensively, he has a good chance of moving above DeYoung on the insane, obsessive disdain list. Those would be my betting favorites to start the year. If we bring pitchers into it, I'm not sure. The obsessives don't like Jack Flaherty anymore, so he would be the guy.
That's true.
I think Flaherty would be third on the list, but with a chance to rise up quickly, right?
Yes, I agree with that.
You know? And by the way, Flaherty does have to put a season together. I'm not saying that some of the skepticism of him is, it's unfounded. I really don't. He needs to put a season together. I mean, he didn't in 2020.
Yeah.
He gets a mulligan for that. This one was ruined by injuries, but that's true of a lot of pitchers. And so I don't know if you give him a mulligan, but you do say, okay, it's time to put a season together. I mean, it's as simple as that.
He definitely does. We all know the potential, but that's potential until you have a consistent season where you're not injured.
Right.
I mean, that's the bottom line for him.
And the Blues made it official. Excuse me, man. I'm mixing up our teams today. The Cardinals have made it official with their coaching staff. They released this a little while ago. So just to recap, Skip Schumacher is the bench coach. Turner Ward, who really has an excellent rep. He really does. Turner Ward has joined the Cardinals coaching staff as an assistant hitting coach. I've heard really good things about him. Mike Maddox is the pitching coach. That's good. He's done a good job, even though we make fun of the claw. He's done a good job overall. Yes. Look at the job he helped, was part of in getting Happ and Lester on a more positive track. Same with those two relievers they brought in, and Wade LeBlanc. So Maddox gets high grades, really, for his time here, even though, again, might get on our nerves from time to time. Jeff Albert is back. Of course, he's number one on everyone's hit list, non-player category. Never seen anyone in all my years in St. Louis, people obsess over a coach as much as this guy. It's unbelievable. Stubby Clapp is back at first base. Pop Warner's back at third. Brian Eversgerd in the bullpen. And Willie McGee will return. So I don't know what that says, and I'm going to let people come to their own conclusion. But Ali Marmol's named manager. There's a controversial and shocking firing of Mike Shildt. And people are, in effect say, well, gosh, they're winning. Maybe Shildt got on my nerves. Maybe he got on your nerves. Maybe there's some things we feel he can do better. But, they won 17 in a row. They closed strong. He kept that team together. So why would you fire him? And, what does this mean? Are they going to, it's just now what's going to happen with all these other coaches? All these other coaches, a couple of them were under contract, of course.
Yeah.
But all these other coaches decided they wanted to coach for and with Ali Marmol. Now, read into that what you want. Everybody can read into that what you want. However, the big mouth here said, and also wrote on several occasions since the firing, things along the lines of Marmol has to learn from some things, one of which is treat your coaches with respect. Treat them with respect. And I alluded to this on multiple occasions. There were problems there between Shildt and his own coaching staff. I don't know whether he just started berating them and it was just out of control. I don't know the nature of it specifically because they ain't saying anything. But I was told multiple sources there were big problems behind the scenes with the coaches and Shildt. And no, this ain't the first time that I've said this. Maybe the first time I've expanded on it a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think the fact that all of these guys are back. One assistant hitting coach left, which is fine. All of these guys are back. I think it says something. I'll just leave it at that. It's pretty easy to kind of connect the dots there based on the evidence the clues I've provided.
I think so. Look, if there were other issues, guys would leave.
Yeah,
find other jobs.
I'm not gonna coach for this guy.
Yeah, that's not the case.
They screwed Shildt. I'm not staying here. Right?
Yep.
They all seem pretty enthusiastic about returning, and maybe the jobs weren't as plentiful. I don't know. I'm just saying, I know there were problems there in this area. And I know that all these guys, except for one assistant hitting coach, opted to stay and are enthusiastic about it. So I think that bodes well. in terms of what Oli Marmol, kind of the respect level he has with these guys. And that's really important. I think they see him as someone they can work with and work for, and someone that they like a lot because they think his heart's in a good place. And when he has a little success, it's not going to go to his head, and he's not going to be like Mr. Ego, starting to like berate people all the time, that kind of thing. I hope that he will not fall into that trap if he's successful, which he should be. I don't think he will, but could be wrong.
Yeah,
you never know.
Have to wait and see on
Sometimes these guys get little celebrity, little success, and all of a sudden they think they're Tony La Russa or something. Doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't.
Not in this organization.